Okay, this is totally unnecessary of me to make this video because I had already done a review series reviewing all Jurassic Park films in preparation for when Jurassic World Dominion was coming out, which was 3 years ago. But screw it, I'm caving in on doing a re-review on all 6 films in one video. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. So yeah, you heard it correctly, this is a re-review on all 6 Jurassic World films, as we now have a new Jurassic World movie coming out, which is technically, I'd say now playing, but if you've been following Regal on social media, they mentioned something about like a 12:01 a.m. showing, and at first I thought it was today, but nope, it's technically tomorrow night. So the first showing you could catch for Jurassic World Rebirth would be at 12:01 a.m., which will be later tonight, as that's the showing I'm going to be catching, so stay tuned for a movie vlog, as I shall finally fulfill my destiny that I thought of doing 3 years ago, but never went through with it because there was no way my dad was going to allow me to go to the theater dressed up in an inflatable T-Rex costume. But now with the new Jurassic World movie coming out, I shall fulfill my destiny. Fulfill the prophecy. Oh, I cannot wait to wear this in the theater. But anyways, back to topic. So yeah, now that we have a new Jurassic World movie coming out, which by the way, I saw this coming like a mile away, like I think 3 years ago, because they said that Jurassic World Dominion would be the epic conclusion to the Jurassic series. Well, epic conclusion my ass, because they went out and made a 7th film, and they're going to be making 2 more films right after this one, trust me. Universal loves to milk the shit out of this franchise, especially when it comes to selling merchandise toys. But anyways, no chit-chat. Let's get on with the re-review on Jurassic Park to Jurassic World Dominion, as I have another video I would like to film right after this one. And let's just say it involves me making a costume that should be easy and simple for y'all to make. Stay tuned. But I would like to do a hype trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth, but I'm not sure how I could pull that off somehow. I don't know. But yeah, I am going to try to make this video short and not have it at 40 minutes, as I'm about to talk like 6 different movies in one video. I have written notes on my Letterboxd reviews, but if you want to know my general thoughts, I have done separate reviews on them, which I'm a little embarrassed filming those because I don't feel like those were proper movie reviews I've done, but if you want to check them out, I'll be sure to put links in the description below. But yeah, let's get started re-reviewing all 6 Jurassic World movies. Starting off with the original that started it all about like 32 years ago, Jurassic Park, which, what's there to say about it? You already know what I'm going to say. But here's something I've come to realize. Not only is Jurassic Park one of the best films to ever exist, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, but this is definitely the best Jurassic Park movie in the series, as there's no way any sequel we get in the near future will ever dethrone this movie. This movie will forever stay at #1. That's something I've now come to realize as I was rewatching the first Jurassic Park film. This movie is definitely in that category for classic films like Terminator, Jaws, E.T., or even Coraline and How to Train Your Dragon. But I'll never forget my experience I had with this movie as I watched it on a VHS. At least I think I watched it on a VHS. Or my dad probably showed it to me on this laptop when I was young. Because it did actually left an impact on me first time seeing this film. I'm not sure if I have any negatives to say about this movie other than pros, which would be that I loved seeing the practical dinosaurs in this film, and the VFX do look great for a movie that was out in the 1990s. And I did enjoy some of the characters in this film, especially Ian Malcolm being the MVP of Jurassic Park. But I definitely enjoyed some horror elements they had in this film, especially with the T-Rex and raptors eating people. Overall, what more can I say? It's a fantastic movie, as I'm actually kind of conflicted with my rating, whether to give this a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Or maybe a 9.5 out of 10 in between, but either way, it's still a fantastic movie. Also, I keep forgetting that Samuel L. Jackson was ever in this movie. Anyways, moving on to Jurassic Park: The Lost World, which is actually titled The Lost World Jurassic Park. I still don't understand why the hell they title it like that. So I know not many people enjoy most of the sequels, specifically Jurassic Park 2 and 3, or Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. But me personally, I enjoy most of these movies. I don't hate a single one, but if I had to pick a least favorite, if I were to be ranking these from worst to best, which I wouldn't say there's a worst movie for me, because I enjoy each one equally. But if I had to pick what's going to have to be bottom, or is considered to be my least favorite, it's going to have to be The Lost World. I do like Ian Malcolm as a main lead for this movie. As for the third act, yeah, that carried this movie for me, but I was surprised to find out there was a sequel back to Jurassic Park. So I must have discovered this movie through my dad when I was a kid, as I would remember he would play movies for me on his laptop, so I'm assuming he's the reason I grew up watching the Jurassic films. But only pros I have are that, as I mentioned, I like Ian Malcolm as the main lead. Nick was a bit of a standout, and seeing the T-Rex be on the mainland was exciting to see, as it blew my mind away as a kid first time watching it. But I do wish the third act was maybe longer. It felt a bit rushed, but that's probably just me. Only cons I do have are, sadly, I didn't care too much for most of these characters. And I really disliked the human villain for this movie. Although I will say his death was satisfying to watch, as he had that coming, but hate to say it, he's probably the best human villain in the Jurassic series, as we had Dennis in the last one trying to steal dino DNA for Dodgson, or Hoskins wanting to use Owen's raptors to weaponize them, or Mills trying to sell dinosaurs in Fallen Kingdom, or Dodgson himself from Dominion, who I would say is the worst human villain in the entire frickin' series. Thankfully, we didn't have a human villain in Jurassic Park 3, but I'm expecting Martin Curbs, if I pronounce his last name correctly, to be the human villain for Jurassic World Rebirth. Mainly because he just gives off the vibes of a villain, and I'm pretty sure he wants those dino DNA for himself other than to create a cure out of them. Anyways, back to topic. Human villain, I'm back and forth with, but yeah, my cons are that I didn't care much about the characters, but I still like how we had practical dinosaurs in this movie with a little bit of mix with CGI. Overall, The Lost World is an okay, entertaining movie. It just happens to be my least favorite sequel of the Jurassic films, which is a bummer to say, because I do like Ian Malcolm in this movie. He overall carried this movie for me as a main lead. My rating for this movie will have to be a 7 out of 10. I don't consider it the worst, it just happens to be my least favorite of the Jurassic films. Moving on to the next sequel, Jurassic Park 3, which, honestly, I prefer that movie over The Lost World. Sure, it's not a 10 out of 10. The first film is still the best in this trilogy, but I like it a lot more than The Lost World, and it's probably thanks to the Spinosaurus being in this movie, who, I will say, was a total menace. I was obsessed with the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3, and I'm glad we got to see Spino again for a little bit in seasons 4 and 5 of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous on Netflix. And I'm glad we're getting more Spinosauruses in the next Jurassic World movie, just kinda wish they had better looking designs. Anyways, back to topic. The film has a simple story, less kill count compared to the last one where we had a family ask Dr. Grant's help to find their son who's been stranded on Isla Sorna for 8 weeks. I did like the storyline here, as I didn't mind it, but I was happy to see Dr. Alan Grant return for another Jurassic Park sequel, since he sadly wasn't in the last one. The film is shorter than the last 2 films, but I enjoy my time with it. I would like to see Spino again if they decide to do Jurassic World 5, which they will, but I'm not even sure if he's still alive after the last time we saw him, which was in Camp Cretaceous. I'm surprised there's even like 3 or 4 different dinosaur islands in this series. Isla Nublar, Isla Sorna, aka Site B, Manticorp Island, and Isla Mutura, which I probably butchered that name, aka Site 3 that we're going to be seeing in Jurassic World Rebirth. Anyways, back to topic. The movie is fast-paced, it's quick and simple, you're here to see some monster mayhem, and you get that with Spino here and there, but that scene where he's just standing there staring at our characters as the satellite phone is ringing inside its stomach, oh, that sound will forever traumatize me. If I ever hear that sound nearby me, I'm hauling ass. Also, peak scene seeing the raptor speak, Alan. But yeah, my rating for Jurassic Park 3 will be a 7.5 out of 10. I would have liked to have seen a hybrid Spinosaurus in the Jurassic World movies. Like an Endospino, like how we had gotten the Indominus Rex or the Indoraptor. Which I won't lie, that was something I wanted to see for Jurassic World 3, but we got a regular dinosaur that I will say is a very disappointing dinosaur villain, but we'll get to him later on. Moving on to Jurassic World, which I cannot believe this movie is a decade old now. Jesus criminy. Taking me back to the theater experience I had seeing this film, as I believe I saw it 3 times, twice with my dad, maybe once with my grandparents? I'm not sure. I just recall seeing this movie 3 times in theaters as a kid. But actually though, take me back to the theater experience I had seeing Jurassic World in theaters, because my god, do I freaking love this movie. Sure, it has its issues like stupid character decisions or weird dialogue choices, but I could care less because I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. More importantly, I loved the Indominus Rex in this film. I kid you not, I was obsessed with this hybrid dino when this first came out. I begged my parents to get me the Lego set that had the Indominus Rex in it, which I wouldn't get until January 2023, which I have made a video, showing off my Lego set that I still have, and I intend to keep it and not lose it because I've been wanting this goddamn Lego set for a decade now. Plus, I'm not having my mom or even the guys from the brick store to help me get this Lego set as we spent it for $300, spend another $700 to replace it. I'm making sure I don't ever lose it. I've lost too many good Lego sets in the past couple of years now! Anyways, back to topic. This is one of my favorite movies that came out from 2015. Despite having some minor nitpicks, I really love this movie. I'm stuck between a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for this one. Some deaths in here did left me scarred for life as a kid. Then again, people getting eaten by dinosaurs have always traumatized me as I watch these films. But while Spino was a menace in Jurassic Park 3, the Indominus Rex was a freaking beast in this film. It's definitely one of my personal favorite dino villains, and I loved the third act seeing both the T-Rex, along with Blue, who I absolutely loved in this movie, take on the hybrid dinosaur. And 10 years later, I still love this movie to death. And when I said earlier that this was my favorite movies from 2015, I mean it's on my top 10 list for best movies of 2015, which I would like to do a video of me discussing my top 10 favorite movies of 2015. Along with 2016, 17, I already done a video of 2018. I still have yet to do one for 2019. Anyways, moving on to the next sequel. Call me crazy, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was the Empire Strikes Back in the Jurassic World trilogy for me. Now, I know not many fans love this movie, or particularly the Jurassic World trilogy, but this one's a guilty pleasure for me, and it's one of my most favorite movies that was released in 2018. I remember the experience and hype I had for this movie. This one was probably the most memorable one for me, as I'll never forget how I found out we were getting a sequel, which was when I was coming out of the theater and I so happened to have seen a poster of Jurassic World 2 titled Fallen Kingdom, and first time seeing that, I was losing my mind. And then as soon as we get a teaser for when we begin the trailer in December 2017, oh man, my hype for this movie was through the freaking roof. 2015 was special, but 2018 and 2019 were peak years for me. Anyways, back to topic. I liked how they changed things up a bit. Like, for example, having the island get blown up by a volcano, which still blows my mind that Isla Nublar was then destroyed by an active volcano, which was kind of a nice change of pace for the series for me. But at the same time, I ain't happy that the island is gone. Yes, this does feel like two separate movies into one, as we have one focused on trying to save the dinos from the island getting destroyed, and one that's totally different, but I didn't mind the other half. But cons I would like to point out is that I wasn't a fan of the human villain for this movie. Which I won't lie, I did get pissed off that was happening, as that's something we now deal with for the rest of the series, trying to protect dinosaurs from animal traffickers and etc. But hey, at least Mills got a satisfying death by getting his stupid ass eaten by a T-Rex. But similar to how I loved the Indominus Rex in the last movie, I also then became obsessed with the Indoraptor. Pros I will say for this movie is, I will forever love seeing practical dinosaurs in these Jurassic films, and I liked how we were mainly focused on Blue for this movie. As for the little twist involving Maisie, still am confused a little bit about that sometimes, but didn't mind it. Overall, I still enjoy this movie to this day, and with how this movie had ended, oh man, I wanted Jurassic World 3 badly. Fallen Kingdom is getting a 9 out of 10 for me, but I almost want to give it a 10 out of 10. Just because I really enjoy these Jurassic World movies. Also, one last thing I will say, as much as I enjoyed seeing Ian Malcolm return, not sure what his role was, because he has a very small role in Fallen Kingdom. But hey, glad he has a better role in the next film, which, speaking about, coming up last, Jurassic World Dominion, which I actually just got done watching just now. Only this time, I only watched the extended version on Peacock, which had 20 minutes of extra footage I had never seen until now. I have only seen this movie, I believe, twice in theaters, but have never bothered rewatching it ever since, so it's been like 3 years since I've revisited it. But this is rather a disappointing conclusion to the Jurassic series. Yes. Do I still enjoy this movie? Also, yes. I can't lie to myself on this one, so here's my honest opinion with Jurassic World Dominion. I still love it. Now, I will agree with most of its criticism, specifically 3 things. 1, this movie had potential, especially with how the last one had ended, as the dinosaurs were now on the mainland, and how the heck was society supposed to coexist with them. Sadly, we don't focus on that. Instead, we focus on bugs, which brings me to criticism number 2. I I get why this movie was titled Dominion, as Dodson or Bileson wanted to have control over the food chain or whatever the hell they were doing that had to do with the stupid locusts in this movie. But speaking about Dodson, who does return to the series as we last saw him in the original, but last but not least, 3 on my major criticisms, the villains. I freaking hated Dodson. I could not stand the guy. Easily the worst human villain in the Jurassic series. And he wasn't the only villain that sucked, because sadly the Dino villain was a massive disappointment. There's not much screen time to the Gigantosaurus. I remember the director describing him as like the Joker for this movie that wanted to watch the world burn. Well, clearly that was total BS. I hated the human villain, but was disappointed with the Dino villain. But I was very happy with Dodson's death, as let's just say it was very poetic. If you know, you know. But yeah, sadly both villains sucked. As for the pros, yeah, what saves this movie for me is the new characters we followed in this new trilogy interact with the original trio from the first Jurassic Park film, as this is the end game of the Jurassic series. I loved seeing Alan, Ellie, and Eon get back together again and team up with Owen and Claire, as this would be the last time we see these characters, and I'm glad I got to see them on the big screen 3 years ago in IMAX. But I will maybe agree with 3C Films on this topic, and that would be Dr. Henry Wu should have been the Thanos villain for this saga, since he is responsible for even bringing back these dinosaurs in the first place. But at the same time, I liked how he kind of turned good in this movie, as he later regretted creating the locusts that were causing a global mess, eating whatever they were eating that would basically bring total extinction to humanity. One last negative I do have for Dominion is that Blue is sadly sidelined in this movie, but I do love Blue's baby raptor that gets introduced in this film named Beta. But anyways, my general thoughts, I still enjoy this movie. Yes, it could have been better, but I was happy to see these characters finally assemble at the end as soon as the Gigantosaurus had showed up. But speaking of which, another disappointment I have with the Dino villain, the Gigantosaurus didn't eat anybody! I feel like there's barely any human deaths in this film. But yeah, I want to give it a 10 out of 10, which technically I did give it a 10 out of 10 3 years ago, but the 3 major criticisms that I brought up earlier are holding it back for me, so the best I can give it for this movie is an 8.5 out of 10. I won't lie, I was kind of bummed out that we had come to the conclusion of the Jurassic series, as this would be the final chapter in the saga. Well, final chapter my ass, because 3 years later, we're back at it again on dinosaurs chasing people in Jurassic World Rebirth, only this time, we're no longer dealing with hybrids, we're now dealing with mutated dinosaurs. But anyways, my general thoughts on all 6 films. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I enjoy each film. Sure, I have nitpicks here and there. While I do have The Lost World as my least favorite, my most favorite has to be the first Jurassic World movie, as I would say that's the best one in the new trilogy. Now, I do have enjoyment with the third one, but that's sadly the weakest in the trilogy. As for the best, as I've already stated earlier, the first Jurassic Park film, that will forever stay at number 1. No way any sequel will ever dethrone that. And if Jurassic World 5 or 6 ever dethrone it, I'm gonna be shocked. But here's a hot take I would like to discuss about the Jurassic series. As much as I enjoyed watching the Jurassic Park films, I prefer the Jurassic World trilogy over the original trilogy. Now, not to diss on the Jurassic Park trilogy, because as I already stated, Jurassic Park is still staying at number 1 in my ranking list, which, here's my ranking on the film so far. I have yet to see Jurassic World Rebirth, as I'm expecting it to be on my top 3. But yeah, I did grow up watching the Jurassic Park films, but I can't lie to myself. I really do love the Jurassic World trilogy. Like, I love all 3 films, and this might be one of my favorite trilogies we've gotten in the past decade now or something? I don't know. But overall, Jurassic World may be one of my favorite trilogies we've gotten, even though it's not all entirely great. I know not many enjoy Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, but that's my honest opinion. And I look forward to see what they got cooking up with Jurassic World Rebirth, as this is supposed to technically be like a soft reboot. But also, this is supposed to potentially set up a new trilogy, as we're definitely getting Jurassic World 5 and 6, because, as I've already mentioned earlier, Universal loves to milk the shit out of this series. But yeah, with that being said, that is my quick re-review on all 6 Jurassic World films that are now streaming on Peacock. If you would like to check out my original reviews on all 6 films separately, I'll be sure to put links in the description below. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this re-review on all 6 films. Definitely stay tuned for my movie vlog on Jurassic World Rebirth. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.